Alright, Sonic Racing Crossworlds. As we know, this past weekend there was an open network beta test, and well, it was peak and chaotic. I legit have nothing else to say other than I had so much fun playing this game, especially with you guys. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever felt this sort of excitement for a racing game since like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I legit didn't even know Team Sonic Racing existed back then.
Ew, you nasty ass bastard! You fucking nasty ass motherfucker! That's nasty, man!
Until like last year, I'm not even kidding. I guess that's how dead that game was to many people, but wow, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is truly a phenomenal game, and honestly, I could see it even rivaling Mario Kart World, if not being even better, as they set the bar very high with this game. Of course, when you hear about a Sonic racing game, people tend to feel a little unsure about it, even after all the trailers and the closed beta that came out earlier this year, which I unfortunately did not play, so I can't compare this beta to that one. Okay, so I have a few things to say about the game, both good and a few bad things to which I think many people may agree on. Let's start off with the experience. Bro, when I tell you I have never been this addicted to a game before, I really mean it. I don't remember the last time I felt this glued onto a game, and obviously many other people said the exact same thing. This was truly just a fun experience overall. When you first hopped onto this beta test, you of course have to do the Grand Prix, which was a very nice detail as you can see some of the rival interactions, and although they are very cool there, I kinda wish we would have gotten something like that on the online races, but it's understandable as there are too many people. The Grand Prix was a pretty fun experience, and overall I really liked the tracks that they chose, but I really wish they didn't mash up all three same tracks for the final race, rather than giving us a new track for the final race, but once again I'ma let that slide, as it was pretty cool going through all of them again. The crossworld aspect of the game is very fun, especially when it comes to the randoms, as you never know what to expect until you cross that big question mark right in front of you. It adds to the suspense of which track you're going to get, either a repeated one or one of the rare ones, which in my case would be Dragon Road and Halaska. Now here comes the online racing, and oh boy, after the first day the sweats came in and they learned the game pretty fast. So as you guys know, you obviously have a voting screen with all the players there and see what tracks get selected. Once selected, you proceed to then go to the track and race, but here comes one of the most broken things in this game: the gadgets. So yeah, you can actually customize and see what type of skill, if you want to call it like that, matches with what you like. I pretty much went with the basic things as I still didn't know what to choose, but when you start a race you are equipped with either gadget you selected. In my case I used the Wisps as I like to gain speed on other players in the beginning, while others use the monster truck, and that's my biggest complaint. I really think that they should balance that specific item in the beginning, as many people would just choose that and squash everyone in the beginning and take a lead, although you may actually catch up pretty quickly due to the other items. The main issue with the game, and from what others have said, is that the items need balancing, as many of those items tend to be a little bit more powerful than others. Items such as the monster truck, the drill, which is actually pretty helpful if you are in dead last, and the slicer. I have seen people complain about those items the most, so hopefully SEGA listens to the feedback and fix it by the time the game officially drops. But yeah man, I gotta say, I loved every single level they showed us for this beta test, and honestly my favorite might have to be Apatos, Metal Harbor, or the Museum. As first, I personally love the OSTs they have, and they were all kinda unique, although I think Apatos might have to go down a little bit as the walls were a huge issue. For some reason I felt like the flying was a little bit stiff to control and it kept making me hit the walls, especially since Stat Track in general had the most walls in the air. I love it, but I would much rather be on the ground racing with either a car or an extreme gear. When it comes to level design and or track design, I personally feel like Mystic Jungle might have to come in last due to it being very stiff in its turns and it's very easy to fall off. I've heard many people complain that they tend to do very bad in that track due to it being very fast paced for the water and of course the sharp edges, to the point where it's very easy to lose your balance and speed, and I have to say it happened to me a lot. Once again, not necessarily a bad thing as it's purely just a track design. Here comes the good part: the actual racing with extreme gears. The extreme gears were a dream to use as it felt much easier to control and almost everyone used them due to the cars feeling also a little bit more stiff compared to them as well. Of course the extreme gear had a better handling instead of the car, to which I gotta say makes sense to be fair. I also went with the speed characters most of the time and would just use them on the boards, as I personally feel like it was more enjoyable that way. At times I did prefer using the cars in certain tracks, but I think speed or handling might be the way to go in this game. Once again, of course, with the correct build. One thing I just gotta get out there are the models, and I know people are gonna complain about the muzzle, but I just want to focus on the base model for every character so far. They all look great and probably the best we have ever seen them. I also personally really enjoyed every single expressive little animation that everybody had, and that's probably one of my biggest things for this game. The game was also built on Unreal Engine, so it makes sense, but it's also crazy how these models look to me. Another thing that really amazed me was the fact that I actually played this beta on my Switch 1, like the original Switch, no OLED or anything, and it ran pretty great. Obviously, since it's being ran on a Switch, it's going to be capped at 30 FPS, which I really didn't mind, and the graphics were actually pretty decent. As far as I know, they're actually making a Switch 2 version, but it will come out early next year. The crazy part is, I actually had to play this beta on my Switch way more than my PS5 or Xbox, due to me being very busy, and it was a blast even on the Switch. And the last thing that I kinda have to complain about, and I really hope that they fix, are the NPC characters and the Chow in the background. Sometimes I felt like they were just PNGs or really low resolution at just 10 FPS cheering in the back, and you can even see this in the home screen. Hopefully they fix that, as it wouldn't be a good look considering the game looks fantastic now. Although I don't know if people would actually care that much. I gotta say, I enjoyed this game a ton and I am extremely hyped for it, although I probably won't get it on release, but rather wait for a sale. So yeah, those were my thoughts on this little beta test that we got, and the crazy part is, SEGA announced that we would actually get a demo for the game mid-September. So hey, guess we stay winning. Honestly, I can't really complain. This game is fun, and if SEGA plays their cards right, this game may actually last for a little bit longer than expected. But yeah, once again, let me know your thoughts on this beta test that a lot of us got to experience, and will you buy Sonic Racing Crossworlds on release? Let me know down below. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, stay safe, and peace.